And we are live. Welcome to another episode of AB Trap and Combat. And today we're going to be talking about Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman. And let's get right into the stats, starting with Sebastian Fundora. Fundora is 27 years old. He is 6 foot 5 inches tall. He has an 80-inch reach. He has a record of 23 wins, 1 defeat, and 1 draw. And now for Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is 36 years old. He is 5 foot 9 inches tall. He has a 69-inch reach. He has a record of 31 wins and 1 defeat. The last time we saw Sebastian Fundora in the ring was when he fought Tim Tszyu in the rematch, and he TKO'd him in round 7. Now, the last time we saw Keith Thurman was when he fought Brock Jarvis, and he TKO'd him in the 3rd round. Keith Thurman has been calling for this fight. He's been calling all the big dogs in the 154-pound division. He's been calling out Virgil Ortiz. He's been calling out Boots. He's been calling out Errol Spence. He's been calling out Fundora, Tim Tszyu. He's been calling out all the big names that you could imagine. For a moment, I didn't think Thurman had a chance to land a big fight anymore. I think a lot of people were seeing him as a big threat, low reward type of fight. But Fundora stepped up. He accepted the fight, the challenge, and I'm actually surprised that this fight was announced.
You want to know why I had to go to Australia? Because everybody's too busy fighting everybody else, leaving your man Keith one-time Thurman on the motherfucking shelf. That's all they was doing, playing games, picking up this check, that check. Ever since I was in the amateurs, there's been no such thing as an easy Thurman fight.
Sebastian Fundora has proved to me that he's a great champion. He has proven that he's worthy to be in the spot that he's at. For Thurman, we already know who Thurman is, what he has accomplished in the ring, his resume, the people that he beat. I mean, Thurman had a great career. For him to move up to the 154 pounds to fight the champion there, I just see this as like it's extra homework. It's just cause there's no reason for Thurman to do this. He has already proven himself. For Fundora, I felt like at first I wasn't really big on Fundora. I didn't really like his style. I didn't really like, the type of fighter he was. But over time, especially after seeing him lose to Brian Mendoza, he got knocked out. He came back and got his belts back. Not only did he fight Tim Tszyu short notice, he demolished him. Like that first fight, Tim Tszyu got that cut. I was kind of salty about it. But, Tim Tszyu had the chance to throw in that towel and demand a rematch, and he didn't. He kept going, and it was a great fight. Fundora didn't really show like urgency to finish the fight, even though Tim Tszyu was bleeding. But in that rematch, man, Fundora came out there and he was on fire. He was looking for that finish. He went out there from round 1. He was just throwing hands. He just let it go. He was very productive, very active, and it was like a whole new Fundora in that ring. It really made me become a fan after seeing that performance. After that performance that he had with Tim Tszyu, man, that performance was great. That Fundora, that version was dangerous. He's a problem if he fights like that. Now, obviously, we all know what Fundora brings into this fight. He brings the height. That's the biggest threat that Fundora possesses, his height. Thurman is gonna have a big problem. Um, we have seen Fundora fight shorter guys. We have seen him fight, not guys taller than him, but 6 feet, 6'1", and like I said before, Fundora didn't really use his advantages. He didn't really fight in distance. He always moved in to attack. He didn't just sit back and just throw those straights, throws throw those hard jabs. He wasn't really that type of fighter. He always likes to step in. But against Tim Tszyu, he really showed a different skill set. I felt like he didn't really use his range that much, but he definitely stood mid range and got out the way every time Tim Tszyu tried to come in to land his shots. Now Thurman is gonna need to jump in there. He's going to probably need to start this fight fast. He doesn't want to catch himself standing in the outside and Fundora is just throwing that jab, letting that go. Let's see what type of game plan Fundora comes up with. I feel like in this division, he could easily dominate if he just learns how to fully use his range. Thurman was known to bring power, right? Power, speed, defense, good footwork. He was known to have the complete package. Now that he's 36 years old, I feel like people kind of forgot who he was. And now he only kind of brings experience into these fights. He did show his power against Brock Jarvis in his last fight. But who's Brock Jarvis? He's like a C fighter, C level fighter. I mean, he Thurman was supposed to do that. He was supposed to finish a Brock Jarvis. Can he do that against Fundora? Man, I'm a big fan of Thurman. I love Thurman's style. But against someone like Fundora, I just don't know how Thurman will come out to try to beat that challenge, that height challenge, that reach challenge. What would he do? Brian Mendoza was a bigger guy, a younger guy, and he was able to just throw these hard, big shots at Fundora, and eventually Fundora just broke. I don't see Thurman possessing that type of power at this age and especially moving up. Sebastian Fundora opened this fight as a big favorite. Keith Thurman is a huge underdog. And when you look at their skill sets, it has nothing to do with skills. It just has to do everything with Fundora's height and him learning how to use his advantages every fight that passes. And he said it. Fundora, after the fight with Tim Tszyu, pause. The press conference with Sebastian Fundora and Keith Thurman, the first one that they had, I don't know if they had a second one yet, but the only one that I saw, Fundora said he's just learning on the job. Every fight that he has, he learns a lot from it. Thurman's response to that was he's not learning on the job anymore. He's been doing this for way too long. He's been doing this since, I think he said 6 years old, and he's 36. So he's been doing this for 30 years. He's not learning on the job anymore.
Hold on. Yeah, we're growing. We're getting older. Now I'm 27 years old. I'm full-grown man. There's no more excuses at all. But we're in a good position, you know. So while I was learning, you know, we're taking pretty tough fights, learning on the job, and now we're getting there where we're at the top, and now we have everybody that's tough. We have all kinds of guys that are tough, but at least we learned along the way. And again, I'm just very happy to be here, very happy to be on this card.
Fundora, he already told you guys, he's been learning on the job each and every step of the way, you know. My pedigree goes way back. I was 16 years old. My sparring partners were Winky Wright, Jeff Left Hook Lacey, Antoine Eccles, and Bad Chad Dawson, with my mans Andre Berto. Like, the list goes on and on. I've been in the ring with champions since I was a teenager, you know. I'm bringing in the craftiness, the power. I competed in the amateurs at 152. My last two losses in my career is Manny Pacquiao in 2019 and the Olympic trials against Boo Boo Andrade.
So is there any more in Thurman that we haven't seen yet? Well, we're about to see. Him fighting a guy who's 6 foot 5 inches tall will answer that question. What scares me is that Thurman is not this durable guy as I thought. After him getting knocked down in round 1 against Manny Pacquiao, it was a flash knockdown. It wasn't nothing to end the fight, or it didn't hurt Thurman or nothing. It kind of just took him by surprise. So I wouldn't say Thurman's chin is questionable, but he has gotten hurt before against some Spanish dude, some Mexican dude, Jose Lito Lopez, I want to say. He was against the ropes and then he got rocked. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I do. So I'm not gonna say Thurman's chin is suspect, but we have seen him hurt. And if Fundora comes out with that fire in him, like Thurman robbed him or something, like comes out aggressive, it's going to be a long night, or maybe a short night for Thurman. Thurman is going to get punished. Thurman is going to have big problems if Fundora comes out knowing what to do with his range and knowing what to throw. Now, for Thurman, it's kind of hard for him because he has to land. He has to land his big shots. And the only way he could land is if he steps in, gets close, expose himself to uppercuts, and try to land. Fundora, like I said, he didn't really fully utilize his reach against Tim Tszyu, but he was throwing a lot of stuff to interrupt Tim Tszyu from coming in, like the uppercuts. At times, he would just do a simple, gentle step back and then come back with an uppercut. That's what you do as a taller fighter. Thurman, he doesn't want to have a slow fight. He doesn't want to have a chest fight. He doesn't want to go shot for shot with Fundora. Thurman has to step in, use his head movement, use his speed, and land those big counter shots. It's going to be hard to counter, but if Thurman is fully offensive, like we saw Tim Tszyu be, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough with Fundora's counters. I like this fight, man. On paper, I feel like it's a 50-50 fight, Obviously, the fans and the betting odds is leaning towards Fundora. I feel like with Thurman's experience, just he's a A+ type of fighter. It doesn't get better than Thurman. He sells fights. He was a world champion. He's just a all class global superstar. It's a classic younger guy versus older guy. You got the young bull, the young champion fighting the former champion who has moved up and still trying to prove himself. If Fundora comes out there calculated, he studied Thurman, he's patient, and he's looking for big counters, that's going to be, he's going to have a lot of success. If Fundora comes out there sloppy and feeling too overwhelmed, it's going to be a long night for him. Thurman, I just feel like Thurman is just a very smart fighter. He studies his opponents. He looks for their mistakes. And sometimes he starts off too slow. But I think if he could waste time with Fundora by just like circling around the ring and not doing too much, and then catching Fundora by surprise, sprint attacks, and really having good head movement. I feel like Thurman has to be a whole different type of fighter for Fundora. And he does. If he wants to win, he has to really fight like one-time Thurman, like weaving and just like, he had those really good single powerful shots. He wasn't too much of a combo fighter. He would do a lot of weaving, then catching you. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for Thurman. For my prediction, I think I have to side with Sebastian Fundora. It kind of hurts me to go against Thurman. But you have to be realistic. You have to be realistic, and, me being a smart analyst, I have to pick Fundora, I try not to be biased. Try to not pick, my favorites. I don't really care about the betting odds. But on paper, Sebastian Fundora is supposed to beat Keith Thurman. I hope Keith Thurman do his thing. I know he will. He's going to, if he loses, he's going to lose on his shield. Against Manny Pacquiao, he got dropped. But when we talk about the fight after the sixth round, Thurman was on full auto mode. Like, he was trying to get Manny out of there. Like, he was doing his thing. I know Manny Pacquiao is a fan favorite, so people are not going to say that. But Thurman did find a lot of success after that first round. I don't know if it was just like the urgency or the feeling of him might losing this fight that got him fired up. But I want to see that type of same energy against Fundora. He has to. He has to. But on paper, I have to side with Fundora, even though I don't want to. Fundora is a great fighter. He has proved himself. But he's just not my type of fighter, So there we have it. Sebastian Fundora as the winner. He probably wins by decision or by a TKO. Might catch Thurman trying to get in. You never know. But that's all I got for you. Don't forget to drop a like, a subscribe, a comment, a share. Do all that good stuff for me. Until next time.